Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Katie here, and we are going to be doing today with we're going to be doing today we're going to be doing today in the ass, right in the ass. Um sorry. No, we're going to be doing a Metafy session today to kick things off this week. Hope all of you are doing well. I'm doing good. I have my brown cinnamon sugar pop tart and a little bit of lukewarm coffee, so I'm ready to go. As you can see, I'm decked out in my fresh cut apparel because I have not um, planned out this morning as quickly and well as I should have, and I have not showered yet. So, living my best life. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to call my student, and we'll go from there.
Hello.
Hello, how's it going, Dave?
Going all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Glad to have you. Like I said, I'm sorry that you're under the weather, but it sounds like like you said that you're on the mend. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm almost fully recovered. Got a good night's.
Okay, good. Good. Um well, I'm glad to hear it. I know last week we talked about disadvantage. We kind of wanted to get over that. Um Today we're going to be talking about advantage. Do you feel based on last week that you have a clear, better understanding of what you should be doing in your disadvantaged state?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you played the game at all since the last time we spoke?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going okay.
Okay, good.
I'm just getting a couple things down. The fact that learning that I can teleport to grab the ledge without any aimable, I guess, if I teleport from above,
Yeah.
that's been. I had
Okay.
no idea. That's been.
Well, good, good. Yeah. That is a big deal. If you haven't known that you could do that. So I think that you getting that down is awesome. And of course, like everything, the more that you play and the more situations that you're putting yourself in, the more familiar you'll be with trying to choose to do different things in your disadvantaged state. Um, so today, we're going to be moving forward to our advantage state. And advantage state for Zelda, quite frankly, is, in my opinion, it's something that can really make her feel like a top tier character, um, or a high tier character at the very, very least. Um, as you're well aware, Zelda's entire goal is to, set up Phantom. And something I want to do, I'm going to share my screen with you here. Um, here. So you should be able to see this now. I've got a set with Ven pulled up. Um, This set is from the same event where we watched the set versus Mysterica. So this is when Ven was playing Pretty on Fire, and Ven was fighting against this player named Comet. I don't know if you're familiar with them, um, but Comet is probably the best player in Wisconsin, or close to it. He's been ranked #1 several times there, and he is a Fox main. So I thought that this would be good because this will allow you to see not only what we want to focus on, which is, advantage, but this is going to be a lot more right to the point. It's going to be a lot easier to see because Fox is such an oppressive character. And this matchup is hard for Zelda. It's considered a matchup that's most likely losing for Zelda, just because if you were to take the two character archetypes and put them on paper, everything should say that Fox should win. He's faster. He has a lot more combo potential. He can follow up faster. He can avoid Zelda's Phantom, can reflect it. His reflector can be held, so he can just commit to holding the reflector. So, the Phantom will eventually be reflected regardless. But there's a lot that Zelda can do in response to it. So I'm gonna do my best to like just go over this a little bit, and then I think what I want to transition to after we look at this set for maybe about 30 minutes, spend the last 30 minutes going over something that I think is really important, which is ledge trapping. Ledge trapping for Zelda is kind of like when she's absolutely busted, and it's like the best situation you can put yourself in is when your opponent is right about to grab the ledge and you have a phantom on standby ready to go. And I'm gonna go over why with that, but the other thing is, the other part of advantage would be confirms. So I do want to ask you how confident you feel as a whole in your advantage state, as well as how confident you feel when you're ledge trapping somebody and keeping them off stage, and then also how you feel about your confirms, like your combos and stuff.
I comes well, I feel better about it. I think that
Sure.
I could probably uh, ledge trapping also on combos with like pressure.
Okay, so you feel fine, like you feel like you understand, like for the most part,
I
like
still like to go over it.
yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's always going to be better to have like you know, a second opinion. Like last night myself, I was doing some VOD review with someone who doesn't even play Zelda, and they were like exponentially helpful in opening my eyes up to some things that I hadn't even considered before. So
Yeah,
this
and
is
like
something
I don't know what I don't know.
exactly same here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start this off. And I haven't seen this set in a while, but when I see some kind of something that I think is important, I'm gonna point it out to you. Hi, Flaming Flamingo, how's it going? Welcome. Okay, like so I'm just gonna point I'm just gonna point this out already off the bat. All right, so we've hi Kioma, welcome. So we've landed a hit, right? So it's like now we're technically in advantage. Advantage, technically, yes, we're out here making Zelda the new meta. Um, so in advantage state, your advantage state is typically one of two things. It's usually when you have a positional advantage over your opponent. So like let's say you're center stage and they're like on the ledge. That's an advantage state. The other advantage state is when you have a frame advantage over your opponent. So right now, Zelda is going to be able to act after her rapid jab here, and Fox has to tech. So one of the most important things, as you can see, Zelda has acted first before Fox has been able to move. One of the most important things in Zelda's advantage state is to not overcommit, because it is so easy to lose advantage with Zelda, and her disadvantage is pretty bad. It is very bad. When you compare it to other characters in the game, Zelda has tricks that she can use to escape, as we talked about last week, but it doesn't, because the pressure of like busting your Nehrus is always there when you're being oppressed by like a super good fast character like Fox. You have to make sure that you aren't doing something called overextending. So overextending is where like you feel a little overconfident, or like you're going for more of a read. Um, so it's and like you're going for a read in a position where like that's not what you should be doing, because of several different reasons, which we'll get into. But like right now, this is the very first game in this long set. Um, you know, and so for example, like let's say, I don't know, let's say this is the last game of the set and I rapid jab them at 0. Based on how the set has gone, I might have information that they're going to tech in place and then jump. So it might make sense for me to rapid jab them and then immediately jump and nair them, right? Because I know that that's a read. But at the start, of the set, I don't have that information yet, right? So I can't call that out yet. So because of that, watch what Ven chooses to do. It's very simple, but Ven just got a hit. And you would think, okay, now it's my turn to go in because like I landed a hit on you. But Ven dashes in and then immediately dashes back. And sure enough, Comet calls out that jump potential. Like if Ven had tried to jump and do something there, Comet called it out. So even though that they were in a disadvantage, like Ven is still taking the advantage to get positional advantage, right? Like Fox is fast, so Zelda knows, Ven knows that they need to just get their hit, and then it's, you know, they got the hit, but there's no reason to like run up and try to do anything. Hold your ground, right? So dashes right in, and Fox could have dash attacked here, but Fox was a little scared because they got hit. So the first thing that they're going to do is dash away and back off. Gets another rapid jab, then goes in, right? Because now we sort of have a little bit more confidence in what's going on here. Notice how they use Nehru's in advantage. I thought this was very, very smart. Jumping and putting Phantom Kick out is nice because the kick stays there. So when you have a slight advantage, but you don't have very much, you can't afford to call out the whole Phantom. So the fact that Ven put that out there was more so like, oh shit, like I definitely don't have enough time to charge this because they're right on me. So they sort of knew that, released the kick immediately, and then they hit the kick. As you can see, Fox here ends up kicking the Phantom, and so because of that, they're delayed a little bit, and that lets Ven get Nehru's out. So that's a pretty good setup at low percent, and you can see Nehru's was used here in advantage, not disadvantage. It's good for situations like this. So everything that I'm seeing here, just like gets them off stage, covers himself with Nehru's. So now we have our opponent off stage, and they're at 42%. So at 42% against a fast character, you're probably not going to be able to get a full charge Phantom out. And you can see that Ven doesn't jump back and try to charge Phantom here, which is what you would think that you would want to do with Zelda. But you sort of have to know, well, I mean, you have to know if you have enough time to be able to do this or not. Ven clearly understands that. So Ven runs up and tries to put out down tilt to cover the side B to the ledge, but does it a little too soon. But after they whiff, they jump and dare to call out a possible jump, but notice what they're doing. They're fading back, right? They're making sure that they are covering this area. So this area I would call the goal post. Just like no different than like when you were to, if you were to play football and you make like a touchdown, like this is that area, and that's what Ven is protecting. Ven wants to make sure that you do not leave this area. I need to make my point, and I don't want you getting past me. I don't want you getting back to center, because at any point, advantage can be so hard to lose, because like, let's say right here, some players will run off and they'll try to dare, and then they miss, and then the Fox gets on stage, and now you've lost your advantage state. So Ven is not overextending. They're not overcommitting here at all. They are making sure that whatever they're throwing out, they're staying on top of what they're doing. So it's called option coverage. They're covering them going to the ledge immediately. They missed, but it doesn't matter because down tilt, as we've talked about, is very, very quick. 21 frames from start to finish, so you can act. Calls out a jump, but is fading backwards just in case they miss. And they missed, but they're covering the fact that they missed with the pivot grab, and they got the grab. Second thing here, once they got the grab, what did they do? They forward throw them off stage. This is really good because forward throw is busted. Forward throw gets Zelda a free Phantom every single time. I would argue even at 0% in the best of circumstances against most characters. I think a lot of Zeldas, and myself included, make the mistake of trying to down throw too much because we're trying to get like a nair, or we're trying to get a back air or fair. But I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and it's like, why wouldn't you take positional advantage if you could have it for free and set up a Phantom? So this is case in point a perfect situation. Ben could have tried to do a down throw and like dashed back and like jumped and got bear and sent them off stage or something, but that's a harder read to make. And when you're in advantage, and I would write this down, when you're in advantage, you want to eliminate as much of the RPS as possible. So a lot of the guessing, a lot of the rock, paper, scissors, a lot of like the read-based attacks, when you start to watch your gameplay, if you follow that rule, you can see yourself doing stuff like, oh, okay, I ran off and tried to dare them there, but I was guessing, I didn't know for sure. So that's RPS because you're guessing, and that means that that's not what you want to do. Now, you can, when I say that, it might sound a little confusing because like right here, it's like, you can see that like they're sort of guessing, but the thing is that like right here, for example, since you're in an advantageous position, when you're making these guesses, it's not going to be like a huge commitment because they're sticking to moves that are very, very quick. Like down tilt, they're doing a full hop dare, and they didn't land with it, so they're not suffering any end lag. So by the time they land, they can throw out that grab. So they're reacting with the grab here. It's not even an RPS. All of this is like reaction based. So it might seem like they're guessing, but they're really not. They're reacting to the situation, they're reacting to positioning, and they're acting off of just a general idea of what they should be doing. But they have data to go off of, right? It's not like they're in neutral and you're playing RPS, like you're trying to guess, okay, are you going to come at me? Do I need to pivot grab because, you know, are you going to run at me? Like if your opponent doesn't run at you in neutral and you pivot grab, now they can just hit you for free. But because they're off stage, it's not really RPS anymore. So it's important to be able to distinguish between what RPS situations actually are, and then if you're using them, it's like you're playing effectively when you're looking at your gameplay, you're playing an advantage, and you're like, okay, or you're just playing in general. Either way, you're playing and you're like, okay, I've knocked them off stage. What's the best thing for me to do here? You know, run off dare, not going to be the best thing. Jump up air, probably not going to be the best thing. But like doing what Ven is doing here, mixing between like down tilt and like pivot grabs and stuff like that is very, very good. So moving forward here, they get the throw, they set up their phantom. Now, you can see here that they lose their advantage, and why is that? They committed. They overcommitted. So here, they made it back to the stage, and what Ven should have done in this position, can you tell me what they should have done instead of doing the fair? Yeah. So don't get...
I guess what exactly would have been optimal? I would have probably covered the air here.
Well,
with like an up air.
Well, technically, sure. So technically, the best thing, and I think it's important to like don't focus so much on like the attack. It's the fact that they gave up the position that they were in. So what they could have done here is, because the fact that they can see that Fox jumped here, right here after they dashed, if they hadn't fared, they could see that like the phantom isn't going to hit them. So like if you had just dashed back here and went back to center stage, you still would have been in a better position because you would have been center and Fox would have been in front of you and they're still in the corner, and that's what we want. Now, it's hard because Fox is so fast, and that's why it's so important to try to opt to normally make these like safer positional awareness based decisions in your advantage state. And it's honestly so much less about like what attack should I use in advantage, right? Because that's sort of what comes with like confirms. Like if you land a combo starter, you should know, okay, what hit can I get? And you learn that through muscle memory. But this is knowing whether or not, okay, I'm fighting against a fast character here. They've landed, they're fast, they can get the hell out. So I'm slow, so me trying to run back in and kick them is going to be, like, I imagine that Ven was hoping that Comet would freeze and shield here. So it's going to be a lot better for you to not make that assumption so early and just go back to center stage, because that's going to put you in the best position to react to whatever they're going to do. The other thing is that, like, technically against Fox, like, right here, I want you to tell me when the advantage state ends for Zelda. Just point it out to me. Okay, so it actually ended a little bit before that. So right here, it's like over. So now advantage state is gone, and now Ven is technically in disadvantage because they're recovering from their move, and Fox is in a better position than they are now, and now Fox can hit them. So it's not disadvantage, just like advantage. Disadvantage for you is when your opponent has a positional advantage over you or a frame advantage over you. So that was a positional advantage for them, which means that Ben was in disadvantage, like right here, because positionally they're not in a good spot. So all of that happened because Ven did not go back to center. Right here, Ven could have just went back to center and saw how they chose to react to the Phantom. Because Phantom, as we've discussed, is not a percentage tool, it's a trap. And you need to see how people act in response to the trap so you know how to punish them for how they respond to the trap, right? Well, Ven was kind of trying to make a bit of a call out here, and it's too early, and Fox is too fast to try to make out something like that. So you can see like right here, and then look, Ven is like, oh shit, I got hit. And Foxes particularly do this in their advantage state, by the way. They will up tilt you, and they are waiting for Zelda to Nehru's because all they have to do is buffer shield. And that's exactly what happens here, and then they get a free hit or a grab. Because Nehru's is so bad on shield, it's like -25, I think, or even more. Fox can grab you, Fox can drop shield up smash, drop shield down tilt, which is what happened here. So you can clearly see within like 10 seconds of each other, you can see Nehru's being used great in advantage, and then you'll see Nehru's being used poorly in disadvantage. And that is a way of trying to just escape pressure, and it would have been much better for Ven to have double jumped here, or to have possibly just done a neutral air dodge. Because the thing is like if Comet had shielded and Ven had done a neutral air dodge, Ven might have had a better chance to get out of that situation. Now they could have still gotten hit or grabbed, but like this is where like RPS really comes into play. So if Ven had done neutral air dodge instead of landing with Nehru's, they could have possibly jumped or rolled or something to get out of this situation. Like I would have loved to have seen right here for Ven to just double jump out because they're shielding. So they were waiting for the Nehru's clearly. So if Ven had jumped out, like this wouldn't have happened, but it's still okay. It's the first game of a long set. So let's just kind of see how things play out from here. Notice how right here, Ven like misses an attack, but Ven is covering missed attacks with pivot grabs a lot. This is very, very good because what opponents will do, as you can see, is like right here, the opponent tries to land and then they miss and they're like, oh fuck, I missed. So they hold shield because they're like, I'm gonna get hit. So you call that out with a pivot grab. Very good for Zelda. That's how Zelda gets her grabs. Because Zelda has very good burst range in it. Like, so now she's like, now she has advantage. So she could just have dashed and done like an up tilt or done a dash attack. So that's what they're expecting. They're like, oh fuck, they're gonna hit me because Zelda's got really fucking good frame data up close. She's very, very fast. Her burst is some of the best in the game. So you call that out with grabs. And then you can see they did down throw here, and this was probably the most optimal time to do down throw because they're at 54%. And that was just a straight DI call out. Just immediately just, so this is a confirm. So this is something that you should practice. How confident do you feel in like your down throw kicks? Do you feel confident in them?
So I feel like I probably like 5% of the time. So I feel like it could.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing is that positional awareness will definitely teach you like basically when you're going to get those and when you're not. So like in this situation right here, it would be a huge mix up to DI in as Fox, but most people DI out because they don't want to get kicked, right? If you DI in, you can sort of just stay in place, jump, and kick. Because, you know, depending on how fast you are, you can sort of react to this. It's 50-50, but some people can. Like, I know Mysterica and probably Ven too, they react to the direction the smoke sends them in after the throw. But the problem with down throw is that down throw is very, very long. So they have all the time in the world to DI, so people can mix this up. So because of the position that they're in right here, this is what's giving Ven the information that they're most likely going to DI out. So
I'm so glad you pointed out that. I don't think I always watch the.
Yeah, so if you actually watch the smoke, and you don't pay attention to the character, you can see exactly where they're going to go. And so that's going to give you a much better insight into where you need to be, what direction you need to be holding. Because if you're holding a direction towards the end of the down throw animation, you'll buffer your dash. And that's what Ven does here. Like, Ven is already holding to the left here. Because you can see right here, like, this is the smoke, but right here, this indicates that Ven did a dash. You just don't see it because the dash is covered up by the jump. So that at least lets Ven get the full momentum. And you can see that's how they get that kick. So they're getting that kick because Fox is in a position where, like, they don't want to be kicked, but they're right here. So they want to DI out. They want to DI away from Zelda. They don't want Zelda to get any follow-ups. But some people don't realize, you know, that this is like optimal. This is like the best situation that Zelda could look for with a down throw, because this is like the percent where, like, she's gonna get the kick. It's once you get to like 65-70% that it makes it a lot harder to do. But something I do want to point out here, is like, this is something that you have to be very, very, very confident in. And I think that for the most part, if you're in a position where you get a grab and you don't know, if you're not confident that you're going to be able to land that throw and kick them, if you're not confident where they're going to DI, it would be much better and a lot more consistent for you to just back throw. Because even though you're staling the back throw and it's not going to kill as soon, if you were to be like closer to the ledge over here and you got a back throw and they were high percent, you back threw them and they died, if you use your back throw now, it'll at least send them off stage, and that gets you a free Phantom. So what Ven is doing here is a much harder call out, and it is totally a read. It is totally a read. And I think that a lot of players, myself included, when you down throw, we're trying to do what Ven and May do, and Mysterica, and like Ray, and like Ty, and like all these other good Zeldas. But it's a lot more consistent for you to just do back throw or forward throw and then set up a Phantom, because you're at least going to guarantee you get positional advantage. Because I'm going to tell you right now, what would have happened here if Ven called out the DI to the left, but Comet DI'd in? Comet would have went straight up and then would have kicked the air. And then Comet would have had positional advantage, and then Ven would be in disadvantage. So that is a 50-50. So I'm saying personally, like, I don't feel like very many people consider this, so I just want you to consider it. I want you to practice and experiment, deliberate practice. When you're playing this week, I want you to back throw and forward throw in situations where you feel like you would probably down throw, just to see how different it feels. And then that way you can sort of get a better understanding of, like, okay, like, I'm just going to get positional advantage. Because let's say you back throw and you get Phantom and they jump over it and they get back on stage and you're like, oh fuck. You at least get data out of that, right? So it's like, you're still getting something, even though if you don't land a clean hit, like, you can punish somebody just by getting information off of them. Like, the information that you're getting is a punish in itself. Another thing is like, when you're in disadvantage, for example, and you choose to reset to neutral instead of like trying to hit them back, if you get a positional advantage over them because of that decision, that is a punish. You can punish somebody just by getting to a better position than they are, which is exactly what happened back here. Right here, before Ven even gets hit, Ven is already punished. It's good to think that this It's good to think this way. Ben was already punished because now they're in a bad position and Comet is in a good position. So Comet is literally punishing them just with stage positioning. Even though there's no clean hit that happened in that moment. So hard call out, so let's see how it plays out from here. Right here. This is a disadvantage tip. You are in disadvantage. So if you're in disadvantage, what do you not have the right to do? Attack. You do not have the right to attack back because your opponent is looking for it. You are giving them opportunities to keep you in disadvantage. The other thing is, what did they do wrong here? Besides attacking. So I'll tell you. You're okay. They skipped the ledge. Never, ever, ever, ever skip the ledge. There is no reason for you to give up free invincibility. Ever. If you can grab the ledge and you can get invincibility frames, you should always take them. The reason for that is you are going to have a much better chance having invincibility on your side to get past your opponent than trying to overextend in disadvantage, right? And try to hit your opponent back, because Ven could have gone to the ledge here and at least Ven would have had like maybe like a 30 to 40% chance of actually getting back on stage without being hit. And it's much better for you to take those odds than for you to take these odds, which these odds were slim to none. Oh yeah.
I've been character this entire time. I've got a good like that's compensating.
Yeah.
This my life so much easier.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just pay attention to the smoke, and when you're in advantage, like you really you can have a much clearer, better idea. The smoke does happen pretty fast, but it at least gives you an idea of like how they DI'd. Because I don't know if you know this, some people don't, but yes, it's clear. DI is something that has to happen before you're hit. A lot of people think that they get hit and then they can start DIing, but that's not how DI works. You, after, like, right here, for example, let's see. So, like, right here, Ven missed their attack. Ven better be holding in already before they get hit. And you can see here that they were. If you get hit and you're not already holding a direction, your DI is not compensated. You can sort of affect yourself as you're flying, but like it's something that you need to already be doing. And what's nice is if you're already doing it and you hit, or if your opponent's already doing it and you hit them, you can usually tell, right? If you hit them with like Zelda up tilt and they don't go like directly up in front of you, they go out and it's weird, it's because they were already holding out before you hit them. So the smoke is a good indication of, okay, my opponent is like clearly on top of their DI or they're not. See, right here's another situation. So they could have just rolled here. But or they could have double jumped or like fast fell or something, but they decided to throw out bear. And it's like they're trying to attack so much to get themselves out of disadvantage. And against Fox, it's like there's a lot of pressure to do that because like sometimes you're going to have to just try to take your chances and hit him. So I don't blame Ven for doing any of this or playing this way at all. And you can even see here that like Ven does neutral air dodge here and still gets punished. So it's like in a situation where you might want to neutral air dodge and you think, oh, I could have Nehrus there, like the neutral air dodge, if that was punished, the Nehrus would probably be punished as well. It just depends on whether or not your opponent is patient. So you can see a lot of like, let's just watch Fox, right? They're in their advantage state. So if we're just watching Fox, like you can see, like they're getting a lot of clean hits here. But you see how Ven is forward throwing them constantly? Like, that's because they know they can get them off stage. So like if they get the grab, forward throw. You set up your Phantom, and then like right here, that was the mix up. Because Ven hits them here, charges Phantom, and doesn't release it. So it gets them comfortable with that situation. So you put them in that same situation again, and then you throw it. So in your advantage state, when you have Phantom, you want to make sure that you're mixing up Phantom like 50% of the time, like 50-50s. If you're not doing that, then you're not taking advantage of like conditioning. The other thing is that this is something that's a lot more potent against fast characters. For example, I can pull up a set in like a little bit. I can pull up a set against a Fox, or not a Fox, sorry, a Ness that I was playing against. And against the Ness has a shitty approach. He has the like one of the worst double jumps in the game. So as long as you just like camp him, and camping doesn't necessarily mean like hiding behind the Phantom, but that's what Zelda's gonna do in this case. Those are situations where like your 50-50 becomes something completely different. So I'm actually gonna pivot to that real fast, and I'm going to pull that up because I want you to see what I'm talking about. So okay. Okay. Can you see what I'm showing you? Okay. So you can see like Ness, like what Ness is looking for, at least this Ness is looking for like dash attack, or they're looking for side B. And so I set up Phantom, and I get hit here. I set up Phantom here, and I'm just like waiting. But he's calling out the fact that I'm waiting too close to the Phantom, and he's doing dash attack. But that's really all that he has. So let's keep going and just see what I do when I get to my advantage state. All right, so I got a grab. I did forward throw. I set up my Phantom. Try to call it the fact they were on the platform. So this is where a lot of people make mistakes, and I did this too. If you ever get into a situation where you're underneath a platform and your opponent is beneath you, this is a great situation for you to be in. I make the mistake of like jumping up here and trying to hit them, and then I get punished for it. Where if I had just stayed underneath the platform and I had just held shield, or I had just like thrown an up tilt and then held shield, what's Ness gonna do? Like, Ness has a lot more of restricted options. And so I want to keep myself available, which is a very, very important thing to do in advantage. And I think I've talked to you about that before, just in neutral, but it's also important in advantage. You don't want to overcommit, and that's exactly what I did here. So it would have been a lot better for me to like forward throw, charge the Phantom, and then dash underneath the platform and shield. That's why like doing dash to buffered shield is very, very good, because you threaten a lot of things in that situation. Like if I had held shield here, I could have dropped shield in case they came through and tried to attack me. I could have put out up tilt, which up tilt is huge and it's disjointed. I could have poked them through the stage here, or through the platform. I could have like short hopped and waited and then done like a fast fall up air. There's a lot that I could have done. I could also have shielded and then drop shield, dash back, and went to center. So anything to sort of maintain that positional advantage. But I gave it all up right here. It was very easy for me to immediately go from advantage straight to disadvantage. So like that's not something that you want to do. So here you can see I escaped the pressure. I set up Phantom, and I'm just waiting behind it. and he keeps calling me out with that dash attack. You can see right here, he's just constantly trying to hit me. And so I'm like, okay, like shit, I'm in disadvantage. Like, how do I get back to my advantage state here? Well, I didn't. I did a neutral get up, got covered. So let's see what happens here. All right, I'm in advantage. I'm ledge trapping. I did down tilt, good. Going for these up airs was just me being impatient. Up air is a super hard read. Up air is very, very slow. It seems good, but it is good, but it's slow. It's like I could have just nared him there and drifted backwards and sent him back off stage. So like I went for it there again. I'm fishing. Now that was good. Okay, so we're back in new. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you looking for anything frame like the kick on the ledge? Are you looking for like something throw it out? Because I'm not.
So are you? Sorry, you said the kick.
Yeah, so like your down tilt.
Oh, sure.
Frame them on the ledge,
sure.
Like I'm not concerned. How do you viably like when do you decide to throw it out?
Sure. So it's gonna. Yeah, so it's gonna decide on, or it's gonna depend on the character. Number one. The other thing is that you can see that once right here, like after I've thrown the Phantom, I know that they've used their double jump. So it's kind of like process of elimination, right? If I'm fighting against Lucina and I don't see Lucina do her double jump, well, against Lucina also, I'm probably not ever going to try to use down tilt against Lucina's recovery, ever. Because Lucina's recovery, for example, pokes through the ledge. So it's like, you don't have that option. So, like, that's a clear case of like, okay, if I'm Zelda and I'm fighting as Lucina, that is not an option I have in this matchup. So knowing that type of thing is very, very important. The other thing here is, so number one is like character matchup, like hitboxes, stuff like that. So I throw out Phantom here. He just used his double jump. So now he has to either air dodge, which he should have done, but he was probably scared of me covering the air dodge. So he's like, I'd rather opt to just go to the ledge. Now you can see I stopped and then I dashed forward here and then I haven't put it out yet. And I start putting it out right now because he's literally right about to hit himself in the ass with that shit. So that's when I put it out. I put out down tilt against Ness specifically right when he's going to hit himself, like right before, because that's when it's going to catch. The other thing is it depends on the distance. So I knew he was very close. So that's why I went for that as soon as possible. If he was further away, I would have tried to have waited. But the other thing the other thing here is like, you're not always going to get it. It's just more so that you're putting it there as like to threaten. And if you do end up hitting your opponent with it, you're definitely sending them a message. You're like, hey, like you can't recover like that because I can cover it. So just so you know. And then you can see here, I get the down tilt. And then the only reason that I do this runoff up air isn't even to hit them with the up air. The only thing is I'm trying to scare them. Like doing this is kind of like after I hit the down tilt here, what I do next is my way of saying boo to my opponent. Like I know that sounds cheesy, but it's kind of like boo bitch, like I'm scaring you, right? Like that's the only reason, because I'm baiting them to do something. Because if I run off, see right here, if you're the Ness, what are you thinking? Like, oh shit, they might kick me or something. Right? And look, I'm nowhere near him and he does an air dodge to the ledge. So that is giving me information and it's purposely scaring them into doing something. It is, I don't even have to hit them. I don't even have to punish what they're doing. It's just the fear factor. You know, putting pressure on. This is how you can apply pressure without even landing a single hit. So the down tilt is something that I did guess with, but there was a little bit for me to go off of here. And I'll just show that one more time. Watch Ness. Okay, he double jumped. All right, now I know he has to recover, right? So that's like educated. If he like didn't use his double jump, I wouldn't have gone up there and fished for that. I had that information before I made that decision. That's what led to that decision. So if you watch your opponent, see, like, I clearly had enough time to be like, oh, okay, he uses double jump. Those are the things that you have to be talking to yourself about while you're playing, because if you're not, you're not like, you're just not playing your advantage state correctly, right? Like, we spam down tilt at the ledge because we're guessing. And in an advantage, you want to eliminate that RPS as much as possible. And you can eliminate as much of the RPS as possible if you opt to do non-committal and safe things in your advantage state like this. This is why it's always going to be better for Zelda to just charge Phantom at the ledge than run off stage and try to do something. Always. 100% always. Like, even right here, you can see, like, I throw full Phantom, and the next time I charge Phantom, I release it early. And the only reason is for, like, mix-up, and so by the time that they're in the air, I can jump. So it's like, I'm doing that, so they because it's like chain lightning. It's like a reaction type thing. It's important when you're ledge trapping. So right here, I react to them grabbing the ledge by charging Phantom. They react to me by charging Phantom and releasing it by jumping. So now they're in the air. Now I react to them reacting to me by jumping. So it's this constant, like, oh, you do this, I do this. I do this, you do this, that type of thing. But when you're in an advantage state, you have a frame advantage. So it's like, if you both are in neutral and you both are reacting to each other, one person's going to get a hit sometime, the other person won't. Like, it's back and forth. But when you're in advantage, like, if I have a head start and you are behind and we're both doing things and we're both reacting to each other, I'm going to have a better chance of hitting you first just because I have a head start. That's all advantage should be really looked at. Is like, it's a head start. It's not like, oh, I can do anything I want. It's just a head start. Because you can lose your advantage state so easily. And if I have a head start, if I have a head start, we're both running somewhere. Like, let's say we're both on a forest trail, and I'm running, and I have a head start, like a 5-second head start. If I make a mistake, if I like trip, you can go right past me. But I had a head start. Well, it doesn't matter. I made a mistake. So that can happen in this game as well, and that's why people can immediately go from advantage to disadvantage. Hi, Onua. Thank you so much for the compliment. Thanks for being here, sweetie. Right here, all that was unnecessary. I had no reason to do that. Like, I go for stuff like that because, like, that's me being confident and me thinking that, like, I can do this to this player that I'm fighting because, like, I feel like I'm better than them. And that's not me being cocky. That's just an analysis of, like, skill in a competitive scene. But it ended up getting me the kill anyway. Because I hit them, I set up Phantom, they're like, oh shit, I gotta slow down. And then, I don't know if you know this against Ness, but as long as you do Nehru's after, as long as you have Nehru's covering the ledge after they hit themselves in the ass with their thunder, you will always win. If you try to hit them with Nehru's before they do it, they're invincible when they hit themselves in the butt, but not for very long. So that's why I've learned the hard way. It's a clear way to, like, lose your advantage state, but, like, this works against Ness. I was at Genesis earlier this year, and I lost very early at Genesis because I ran off and tried to, like, Nehru's them, and I did it too soon. So my run ended very early because I gave up my advantage state, and I ended up dying for it, and those are the most frustrating losses. Because it's like, oh, I was going to win, and then I did something like that. So knowing when to do something like this is very, very important, and it's just going to depend on matchup knowledge, and that will come with time. Yeah, I'm just, see that? Yeah, I'm just staying behind Phantom here. We're in neutral, and he's like, I can't approach. I'm fucking Ness. I can't do anything. So I'm just setting up Phantom, and right here, he was like, okay, well, I'm going to try to hit you with PK Fire in case you go past the Phantom, or in case I can hit you before you get Phantom started. And that is a free punish. Look how far away I am, and I'm hitting him with level 3. Now, granted, I displace it, so I shoot back, and I'm pretty good at that, but it is something that is very, very good, but I wouldn't fret about it too much, because Ven, for example, is a player that never displaces, and they're arguably the best Zelda. Like, I would say they're the best Zelda player, so, like, hands down. So don't fret too much about it. It's something that will come with time, and it is something I can definitely help you with. It's actually not too difficult. It's just something that takes muscle memory, so it takes a lot of practice in training mode. You can see here, like, technically, I have advantage right now because, like, especially right now, I have a positional advantage, and I have damage. I'm up 20%. They're at 21, I'm at 1. So right now, I'm kind of sitting pretty. Like, it feels kind of boring, but it's like, this is how you're supposed to play her, is that I don't know about you, but, like, I get uncomfortable sometimes when my opponent, like, isn't approaching, because it makes me feel like whatever I'm doing is not working, but it is working. You are slowly whittling down their patience. And so if you're constantly setting up these situations where, like, that was just terrible, never do that. What did I do wrong? Can you tell me right here, like, what rule fundamentally I broke?
Teleporting on the stage.
Yeah, what
And getting punished.
Right, but what rule is that? I had you
don't skip the ledge.
Don't skip the ledge. Now, the only time you can skip the ledge, the only time, right here was terrible. But the only time you can is, like, for some reason he backs way off here and he goes back to center. So it's like, this is a situation where, like, if they're center, skipping the ledge is a little bit different, because by the time they get to you, depending on the speed, you should be okay. But 9 times out of 10, don't skip the ledge. So right here, I have a positional advantage, and right there, this is why you wait. Because you can see here, I set up my Phantom, I throw it out, and they expect that I'm just going to wait, because that's what I've been doing. But that's why I dashed right past the Phantom and got the grab. This is how you get this type of shit, is 50% of the time when you're in advantage, you're going to stay behind the Phantom and you're just going to dash back and forth. Because you're just trying to make them get used to the fact that when you set up Phantom, that you're just waiting. And then the other 50% of the time, you can go past the Phantom. In a matchup like this, those percents are going to change. I'm not going to go past the Phantom nearly as much because I have no reason to. Ness's approach is pretty crap. So it's not like it's not like he's Sonic and he can just get past the Phantom. He can't. I really have to screw up for that to happen. See, and right here, this was me calling out the fact that he got impatient. He's been in the corner this whole time. I'm technically down right now. But he jumps, and I see that because I'm dashing, I'm keeping myself available, which is one of the other rules. So since I was keeping myself available and I saw him jump, I can react and I can jump and get that nair. And he's kind of fishing, throwing out 2 dash attacks. You can tell by these dash attacks that he's like he's getting very, very impatient. Now right here, again, I should have simply just stayed underneath the platform and shielded. Right here, there's no, I threw out like a jab, which was fine. I could have thrown out up tilt or something, but jumping up to meet them, there's no reason to do that. Fast characters sort of have this ability. Like, let's say I'm playing as Sephiroth or Palutena. I could jump and threaten my Nair at all times. And if they shield it, then it's like I'm still safe because those aerials are safe on shield, right? Like if I had full hopped and then fast fell on the platform and landed with like a Nair as Sephiroth, it's safe on shield, so I can still buffer roll, grab, jump, whatever. Zelda's slow, so me like jumping up here gives them enough time to like call out the fact that I was trying to grab. So that's definitely not something that I would do. So something I want you to write down is if you ever send your opponent onto a platform with like a Nair, like a fair, up tilt, just stay underneath the platform and shield and just see what they do. And then mix between like doing shield or up tilt when you're underneath the platform, because that's just you're gonna get a lot of mileage off of that against a lot of characters. That's me being impatient. Just know that that's very risky whenever I do like the up B. See right there, I did the same thing. I go underneath the platform. They land on it. And I could just shield here. I could also just stand there and do nothing. Because like if they fall through, I can react and hold shield. They're not a fast faller, so it's not like they're gonna fast fall and grab me and I can't react to it. The only time that would work is if you freeze and shield. So like I'm technically still in an advantageous position. It's just not that great to be standing on a platform when your opponent is beneath you, because you're technically in disadvantage in my opinion, because yeah, you're on the ground and you can shield, but you're still in the air. So it's so much easier to hit you. And see right there, like I was trying to like do something clever and it's just not necessary. It's just extra. And I end up getting punished and died for it. Now right here, this is very important. And this is something I didn't really even realize, and my friend pointed out to me last night. Down tilt is kind of busted because of the situation that it sets up. You landed down tilt, it's frame 5, active for 7 frames, and it's 21 frames from start to finish. So I get the down tilt here, and what I should have done is dash underneath the platform and shielded. The reason is because watch what Ness does here. What do you think Ness is going to do? You can guess.
I would guess he's gonna try to on the platform from DI out to like.
Okay, so Ness is in a position to where he knows I can't follow up. I'm not fast enough in the air. So if I dash forward here and I hold shield, if he lands on the platform, he's not going to hit me. If he does dare while landing on the platform, I'm holding shield, so I'll be fine. If he jumps and I dashed under and held shield, I can drop shield and go back to center and react to it. If he DIs off stage and I dash forward and I held shield here, I could just drop shield and start charging Phantom. So the fundamental, the simple thing of being in my advantage state and opting to just do less will get me more. But watch what I end up doing. I jumped up here. But watch what the Ness does. Remember, he DI'd out. He fared. So that means if I had just dashed in after the down tilt and held shield here, he would have hit my shield. And here's the thing. I think it's important to understand what your win condition is in this game. And in matchups, it's going to be different. Because again, matchups change a lot of aspects of what your game plan can be. But in this game plan, when I'm as slow as the other character is, we're both not very fast, my win condition is if they touch my shield. Zelda has such good out of shield options, and what happens is you set up Phantom and it makes your opponent have to wait, and they're impatient. They want to get in. And so what you do is you simply wear down their patience and you eventually put them in situations to where they can hit your shield. So that's what I want. I'm going to hit somebody above me and I'm going to stand underneath them and I'm going to hold shield because I want you to touch my shield. Because if you touch my shield, I can up B you. Even if I up B and teleport in place at higher percents or at lower percents, I up B and hit them with the first hit and teleport away. It doesn't matter. I'm still winning because I got free percent and I got to reset neutral, and you are getting impatient by constantly trying to hit my shield. Zelda has such good out of shield options, and so that's how she wins, is when somebody touches her shield, because she can get up smash, fair, bear, nair, or up B. She's got like 5 options that she can choose out of shield. Most characters have 1. So that's how you win in matchups like this. That's how you use your advantage state. So that's what I should have done here, because as we can see, Ness fared. So this tells me that if after I land this down tilt, if I had just dashed in and shielded, I could have waited for Ness to get impatient, because he's been in the corner this entire game. He's been waiting on me, charging Phantom and having to wait. So because I've wore down his patience, he's at the point where even though he's in disadvantage, he's like, oh shit, I can take a hit. I can try to like hit them. Now's my chance. Because they didn't get a follow-up, because I didn't hit them after I hit the down tilt. So now they're like, oh shit, I can hit them back. But if I had been right here and I was holding shield, I could have upbeat and killed them. But I didn't, because I was trying to do what I thought was right, which is I down tilt and then I chase them. But there's really no reason to do that unless they're at like 50%, because you can probably get fair or like dash attack or something. But at this percent, just dash in, hold shield. So down tilt is super good. I think we talked about it, using it in neutral, and this is one of the reasons. This is kind of like a busted situation, because Zelda wants people to hit her shield. Because up B is frame 6 out of shield. Like, that's super, super fast. And let's say I don't know. Let's say you're fighting against Wolf, right? And this is where things get a little trickier, because Wolf's nair is going to be safe on shield. So if he were to land on my shield, I was standing right here, and he lands on my shield, Wolf does, with his nair, I'm going to either want to shield that and then drop shield and up tilt, or I'd want to dash underneath and tap my shield and then drop it and then buffer up tilt. You could also dash forward, hold shield, and then while you're holding shield, hold up and in. And that way when you drop shield, if you buffer up tilt, you'll do turn around up tilt. So I could possibly stuff out Wolf for trying to nair me before he even connects, because the up tilt is so big. So these are things I can sort of go over with you next time and like show you more in depth, like one-on-one. But this is, does that make sense? Like just dashing in and holding shield? Okay. Because once you do that, once you opt to do that, you'll have a lot more that you could do besides that. It's building that fundamental muscle memory. Once you have that built, then you can stray away from it. That was completely unnecessary. That was just me like getting impatient. Also against Ness, you can see that I only use in my, while I have like a Phantom set up, if I ever used Inspire, I use the instant release. I never fully throw it at him, because it will always make them have to guess, oh, okay, do I use my down B? And if I only use it at distances where it's not going to hit him, he's going to stay away from it, number one, or he'll possibly down B. And if he does that, I'm wasting his time, and that's how you play this character. You make people impatient. Like, have you ever played a game that was like single player and there's like a trap and like you don't understand like how to get past it, and it becomes like very, very frustrating? Like that's how you play this character. They're trap based. You're supposed to frustrate your opponent, and you can't frustrate them by overwhelming them and just running in and throwing out shit. Like, you have to take your time, and you have to like mix people up, and you have to wear their patience down. See? Case and point. Case and point. Dash attack had been working for him And he's getting impatient. He's like, because this game almost went to time, right? There's like 2 minutes left. So I set up Phantom and I throw it, and he probably thought I was going to dash in. So he just goes past the Phantom anyway and does dash attack, and I just held shield. And now I get my grab. So that wouldn't have happened if I had been rushing him down constantly. He wouldn't have gotten impatient because I wasn't setting up that situation. So this is why you use your advantage state and play very passive, and you don't overextend as Zelda. As most characters, you don't even want to do this. Like a fast character would love to do this. Like as Fox, if we go back to this other set, like Ven is in the lead here, and Fox can definitely, you know, push a lot more than other characters can. See, like, do you see? Okay, so first of all, do you see this advantage? Did down throw, they DI'd in. They're at 20. Zelda's at 103. Now she's dead. So Zelda, if Zelda did a back throw here, Zelda could have gotten a free Phantom. So this is why I want you to experiment with this, because this is case in point. This is like the highest level Zelda. They do down throw here. They have all the time in the world to be like, oh shit, okay, I'm just gonna DI in this time. Because what are you gonna do? And even if Ven had gotten the sweet spot there, like Ven kicked away, so that would have sent them to the right, and so that wouldn't have been very good. But it's risk versus reward here. So remember I said you want to eliminate as many RPS situations in your advantage state as possible. This is what I'm talking about. When you down throw someone, you're putting yourself in an RPS. You're putting them in an RPS. It's like, okay, are you going to DI out? Are you not going to DI, or are you going to DI in? Why even mess with that? Why not just back throw them and skip that whole charade? That makes sense? Because you back throw here, they're off stage, you got a Phantom. But you down throw here, now you got to guess. And guess what? They guessed wrong, and they died for it. So you take that as you will. That was great. That was great. See, just going back to last week real fast, you can see that Ven is at 0 here. Ven got hit by up air. Air dodge out. I want, if this happens to you, you can mix between double jumping and then fast fall air dodge, or you can air dodge off stage, just throw yourself off stage because you've got double jump and you've got up B. And the longer you take to recover, the more invincibility you'll have. It is better in a juggle situation like this to just, if you're fighting Cloud, if you're fighting Byleth, if you're fighting Joker, if you're fighting like these, well, maybe not, well, yeah, Joker too. If you're fighting these characters, sure, they could probably run off stage and chase you, but they're going to get a lot less because they can't stay off stage forever. They have to get back onto the stage. So you're limiting the amount of follow-ups they can get, because like this is a shitty situation for you to be in, period. So it's like if you're going to be in this situation, you might as well be in this situation off stage because they don't have the ground to land on to keep following up. So right here, Ven does Nehru's. All this does is slow you down and make you easier to hit. Like, again, this is no different than down throw. It's like, okay, I'm in a situation where it's like RPS. Why play RPS right now? I'm in disadvantage. Don't play RPS in disadvantage. Don't play RP. You only play RPS in neutral. Like, don't play RPS in disadvantage. Don't play RPS in advantage. You play it in neutral. Neutral's where you guess. But you guess safely. So that way, if you guess wrong, they don't have enough space to, like, they can't close the distance. They can't, like, punish you for making a wrong decision. That's why we space, and that's why we use non-committal moves. But here, Ven is guessing. Ven is guessing that you're going to be a little bit closer, or a little bit, like, it's going to be faster, that you're going to be near me, so that's why I'm using Nehru's here. So right here, look what happens. They do air dodge, and they were fine. So if they had done that to begin with, they would have been okay. That's what Ven learned in that situation. So they could have just air dodged and gotten out. But that's what they had to do the second time. See the difference? Yeah. Now, Ven got out of that situation, but see, they still got hit. So here's another thing I want to point out. This is why I like pointing this stuff out even if it's not pertinent to like advantage, because I really think that it should help solidify like my reasoning for why I tell you to do certain things. So I just want you to see it's sort of like proof in the pudding. So right here, Ven shields dash attack, and you can immediately punish with up B. That's why up B is so good, but Ven should have teleported away or in place. If you're underneath a platform, that would actually be pretty good, because by the time Fox can act, which is right now, you would be reappearing, and they did up air here. But the point is that Ven put themselves in a terrible position by doing this, because if you do up B, right, you do up B straight up, it's probably not going to kill at that percent unless they have shitty DI. And you can see that they didn't. They DI'd up and in. So again, I'm an advantage now because I landed a hit. I have a frame advantage. But why would I put myself in another RPS situation? Okay, I want to try to hit them with first hit to second hit. But if I teleport up, if they DI, just like the down throw, then I miss. And guess what happened? They DI'd, so Ven misses. If Ven had just teleported in place or away, or like maybe even like slightly hit them here and then went down and slightly forward, you're putting that much distance between your opponents, so by the time they react, you can act again. I guarantee you if Ven had just teleported slightly here, Ven could have gotten a grab right after. But see, like now Ven is on the platform and you've got a Fox underneath you and they're up airing you. So it's like shit. So like all of that the up B was fine, but the up B to try to hit them with the second hit was not worth it, because now Ven's shield's being pressured and Ven's like, fuck, I gotta get out of there, I gotta make a move. Ven tries to fire back and ends up getting hit. And they ended up getting hit because they tried to chase them with the up B. All of this happened because they tried to chase them with the up B. It's important to understand that, right? Because you could just look at this situation and be like, oh, okay, like they got hit because they tried to bear. No, you can't look at it like that. They got hit because they tried to, they got greedy. They tried to hit with that B here. And now they're in a shitty situation and they got to think their way through it, and they got fucked for it. So, and now they're taking all this damage. Like, look at that. That's, they went from 20%. They went from 20% to 69%. It took 49% just for making that decision. And they're on the ledge. Now, granted, Ben's smart. I won't take that away from them. They're very smart. So they can sort of make risks like this, right? Like they're comfortable doing that. And that's fine. People have different play styles. That's how they want to play. But I would urge not to do that. So hopefully what I'm saying so far, hopefully that's making sense to you. I do want to show you something, but before I go on, I'm going to show you some ledge trapping stuff. But before I go on, how do you feel so far about advantage state? Like, what do you feel so far?
Good. You're pointing out good things.
Okay. Just as long as you understand, you know, what I'm saying here, when you're in your advantage state, you really just never want to be putting yourself in a position where you would be giving up your advantage state very easily. It's much better for you to play safely and more consciously than throwing stuff out left and right. So I'm going to show you something here. So I'm going to switch over to the game screen. And I'm going to switch this music because it's fucking like Sephiroth battle music. Christ. Okay. Anyway. Over here. Stop screen share. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. Can you see this? This game screen?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so what I want to go over here is just some basics of ledge trapping. So how do you feel about ledge trapping in general? Like, how do you feel when it comes to like ledge trapping, keeping your opponent on the ledge, keeping your opponent on off stage? Do you feel comfortable, or do you feel like it's easy for your opponent to get past you?
2, 1, go!
Or, no,
Okay.
No contest.
Also, like, yeah, no, I keep the pressure on and off. I think.
Okay. So, I think we've sort of pointed out, like, with you coming to that conclusion about yourself, I think that that means that we've pointed out, like, the flaws in going for those types of things. So I think Battlefield is a good stage for Zelda. I don't think it's, like, incredible, but I think it is pretty good. I don't personally like it because you get stuck on platforms. Like, if you try to do Jump Back Charge Phantom, on this stage, it can be easy for you to like do this in advantage and you're like, oh shit. And then someone just runs underneath you and just hits you. So when we're ledge trapping, it's important to understand like what the opponent's options are, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, I think we talked about this, but when you're on the ledge, let me see if we talked about this. I think that we did. What would you say the two best options from the ledge are? Like, if you're on the ledge, what are the two best things that you should do? Like, that you could mix between to get back on stage?
I remember.
That's okay. I think we did in either the first session or the last session, probably the first session. But if we also might not have. The thing is I usually do go over this when I first start with students, but I could have missed it. So this is kind of why we recircle back to this information. So when you're on the ledge, the two options that you want to cycle between the most, like 90% of the time, you want to use one or the other. It's going to be neutral get up to shield specifically. So like if you're on the ledge, neutral get up to shield. The reason is if I turn on invincibility, so you can see the invincibility frame. So like, let's say I'm on the ledge, right? I'm waiting. When I do my get up, watch this. Invincible for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Yeah, I can fix that. Okay, is it working now? Okay. So let me start this over. Okay. So you're on the ledge, you're waiting. So you get up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. So you're invincible for 33 frames, right? This is frame 34. So this is the first frame that I am vulnerable. Now, you can't see it yet, but right now I am not vulnerable because Zelda is putting up her shield. Shield does not show up until frame 2, but shield is active on frame 1. So when you shield in this game, if someone tries to hit you the same frame that you put up shield, even though you don't see it, it's still up. So because of that, when you do neutral get up to shield, you are only vulnerable for 1 frame before your shield gets up. This is super effective at getting back onto the stage. Specifically, neutral get up and holding the shield button during the neutral get up. I'm going to show this one more time. Shit, I screwed that up, sorry. All right. I'm going to show this one more time. I'm invincible, I'm invincible, I'm invincible, I'm invincible. Frame 34, frame 35. So my shield is already up. You just can't see it, but my shield is up. For some reason, it's weird. It shows up on frame 2, but that means that you're only vulnerable for 1 frame. So if your opponent is trying to like down tilt you, or if they're trying to like hit you or something like that, they have 1 frame to hit you. So that increases your chances of being hit significantly, because let's take a look at the worst option from the ledge, which is get up attack. Let's look at get up attack. Frame 1, I'm invincible. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're invincible for 27 frames. Look, all this, I'm completely vulnerable. I can totally be hit. Still hit, you can still hit me, 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 you can still hit me. Still can. Now you can't. So I was vulnerable for like probably 18 frames there at least. So that gives your opponent so much time to hit you. As a matter of fact, well, let me point this out now. So if your opponent is just walking up and they're holding shield, if you do get up attack, they can literally drop shield because it's only 11 frames and they can pretty much do anything they want. Like if you are on the ledge and I'm Zelda and I walk up and I hold shield, something that's very effective with Zelda is you charge Phantom and walk forward and just hold shield. Because most people will get up attack. Because they're trying to hit the Phantom to extend their hitbox. But the problem is if they do that and you shield it, that gives you even more time to punish them. So Zelda can get her grab. You can grab them from shield. You can up B from shield. You can up smash from shield. Like you can drop shield. You could drop shield down tilt into like fair. So there's like a lot that you can do there just by that. So that makes get up attack a very, very, very risky choice, right? Like you want to use that like 10% of the time. And the only reason you would is because you try to beat, like let's say you're fighting Cloud and Cloud is standing here and you're just waiting on the ledge. He's waiting for your invincibility to run out. So that way when it runs out, he can run up and dash attack you because his dash attack hits the ledge. But if you call that out, you can get up attack him and you'll have invincibility that overlaps with your attack. So that way you will beat his his dash attack. That's for situations like that. Now, we've established that get up attack is terrible from the ledge, easily punishable. And we've established that when you're on the ledge, you want to do neutral get up to shield because you're vulnerable for 1 frame. From there, you can do whatever. You can drop shield up tilt, you can jump out of shield, you could drop shield to parry, drop shield down tilt. I would do this very rarely, but sometimes you can do a neutral get up to shield and then roll. It's not that great, but sometimes it'll work. Just depends on what your opponent has been doing. So I wouldn't do it like right off the bat. I would do it like maybe, 2 or 3 minutes into the game once you have information, if you've been sent off stage. So here's the second best thing. So what would you guess? If we've covered neutral get up to shield, which is good, we want to use that 90% of the time. We've covered that get up attack is bad. We've got 2 more options. We've got roll and we've got jump. So what do you think is the better choice? Jump, absolutely. So jump is what you want to mix between 90% of the time when you're on the ledge. And between jump and neutral get up to shield. And the reason is that jump is not reactable. If somebody is trying to guess that you're jumping from the ledge, they have to guess. And remember I told you, hi Flower Boy, yes, jump, you're correct. How's it going? So like I told you, if your opponent is smart and they're like ledge trapping you, they're going to eliminate RPS situations. So let's go over jump. Jump is not humanly reactable. It's very fast. You're also invincible for 12 frames during the jump. So right here, you're vulnerable. But you're off the ledge in half the time, because think about it. Get up attack, you're invincible for 33 frames, right? And then you're vulnerable on frame 34. And then you are fine on frame, like after that, basically, you're fine because you're in shield. But that takes 33 frames to happen, half a second. By frame 15 with jump, you're already in the air. So in half the time, you're already up. That's why jump is a mix-up to neutral get up to shield and vice versa. Because they're half they're either double the time. Neutral get up is double the time of a jump, and jump is half the time of neutral get up. Does that make sense? Okay. So with this, you keep yourself available because you can jump and you can like double jump. You can like jump Nehru's back or something, which is very mixy. You could jump bear or something. You could jump, grab the ledge again, get back on. You can jump fair, or sorry, like jump fair like that. Like I do jump double jump. So like I jump from the ledge and then immediately hit double jump and then fair forward. You could like up B, which I don't recommend, but you could. Like there's so many options that you can choose from, right? That only works if you're mixing between those two. So the other thing is roll. Roll is the option you want to use 10% of the time in mixing between get up attack. You either get up attack or you roll, but you're only using one of those two options 10% of the time. So I think most people, when they're on the ledge, they think like they need to mix between all four options, and that's wrong. You want to mix between neutral get up to shield or jump, and please write that down if you haven't already. Okay. And the thing is here is that there are technically 6 choices that someone can make while they're on the ledge. Oh, hi Maximus, how's it going? Thanks for being here. So there's 6 options that people can choose from the ledge. 3 options are reactable and 3 actions are not reactable. So let's go over the non-reactable options. So the first non-reactable option is very easy. It's very kind of like right in front of our face. Is not doing anything. You can't react to somebody if they don't do something, right? So if somebody waits on the ledge, you can't react to that. They can react to you if you try to do something. Like it's like, okay, you dash up to me, I'm gonna do something. So because of that, that's one option that is not reactable. The second option that's not reactable is let go, double jump. Because you can see like all this happens very, very fast and very quickly. So because of that, it's hard for your opponent to know that you're going to do it because it happens so fast. So that is not a choice that you can react to. The third, you've got ledge hang, you've got let go, double jump, and then you've got jump. Those are the 3 things that you cannot react to. So when you are ledge trapping, you want to look for the 3 options that you can react to. So the 3 options that you can react to when you're in advantage, and this is important for your advantage, when you're ledge trapping, you want to look for 3 specific things. You want to look for neutral get up to shield. Even though it's good, you want to still look for it. You want to look for get up attack. And you want to look for roll. Like let's take a look at frame by frame for roll. So I'm going to buffer roll here. So invincible frame 1, frame 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So Zelda's roll is decent. She's invulnerable for 28 frames. Every roll in the entire game is only 45 frames long. Every character's roll animation is 45 frames. Depending on what character you are, you have different amounts of invulnerability. Incineroar has the worst. Incineroar is only invincible for 18 frames when they're doing their roll. It's terrible. That means that if you take 45 minus 18, that means they're going to be vulnerable for over 20 frames. So that, like, if what you can do in advantage, for example, is like if I'm standing here, I can down tilt at someone to bait them to do something, right? And it's like if I just do the simple thing of run up down tilt to bait them to do something or hit them and I don't hit them, I can still dash back and do up tilt. And what's nice about this is that it's going to cover roll. So if I stand right here, I can do this, and doing that particular motion is covering a lot because I'm down tilting to possibly hit them if they do something like jump, or if they do something like this, if I run up and down tilt and they jump and I put the down tilt out during the part where they're invincible, I'm still dashing back and now they're above me, and so I'm still in a good position. So it's good to dash back because it's like, okay, if you did neutral get up, you're still here and I'm still here. So I'm still in a good position. You're not. You're still in the corner. You still have to get past me. If I run up, do down tilt, and dash back, and you jumped, I'm still in a good position because you're above me and I'm here. So I can hit you, or I can follow you to the center. I could get to center before you can. Now I'm going to tell you something really, really cool and something that's very, very effective. So something that a lot of top players do is they will walk up and they hold shield. And what's crazy about this is it pretty much covers everything. You can stand about right here and be fine. The reason for that, I'm going to turn on my controls here so you can see. I'm going to pull a little Sakurai moment and try to control both characters at once. So, so if we've got Kirby here, we've got Kirby on the ledge. So let me do the frame by frame here. If I've got Kirby on the ledge, what is really cool is if I'm holding shield here, which you can see, and Kirby does get up attack, you can watch. Get up attack is the only animation from the ledge where they will there's like a little flash. So watch Kirby. See that flash? You can react to that flash and let go of shield. So you can visually just time it to where you see them on the ledge, you can hold shield and you can drop shield. And it's like, if you see the flash, you can drop shield in response to it. But even if you don't see the flash and you drop shield and they didn't get up attack, you're still fine because you just drop shield and they're still in an animation. If they jumped above you, you can still jump because you can jump out of the parry animation, right? So if they jumped above me, I'm going to show you the same thing. But I'm also going to, let me show you this real quick. So because I parried their get up attack, it was super easy. I'm going to buffer down smash out of this. Because their hit's negated. And I'm able to smack them for doing that. Now here's the other thing. Let's say they grab the ledge. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put up my shield. And they're going to, oh, I don't know, they're going to jump, right? So they're doing their thing, and I'm like, oh shit, they're going to get up attack. So I drop my shield. Okay, I accidentally buffered roll, but this still applies here. So they're rolling, right? So I've dropped shield, but I can see that they've rolled past me. So you see, I'm still covering that option, even from dropping shield. So because of this, this is called, and I'm going to use this term loosely, but it does apply here. This is an option select. An option select is when you do one choice with a button in a video game, and depending on what your opponent does, you're going to have multiple different outcomes. So just by standing here and dropping shield, if the opponent hits me, when I drop shield, I will parry their attack. If I drop shield and they jumped above me, I don't parry, but I can still react to whatever they do. Because drop shield is only 11 frames, and like I've told you before, you put a parry out for 5 frames during the 11 frames that it takes for you to drop your shield. And you can also jump out of that animation at any time. You can cancel that animation with jump. So a lot of players, what they'll do is they'll shield and they jump out of shield. And that can be good because like you're quickly getting out of the situation, but you actually want to try to work on dropping shield and then jumping because you're putting a parry out and then you're canceling your parry animation with the jump. So it's like a reverse order. You can either shield and jump out of shield and have no parry, or you can hold shield, drop shield to parry, and then jump. So it's a little slower, but you see what I'm saying? You're still putting out your parry and you're still moving. So that could be really good. So the reason that all of this is really important is because with Phantom, it makes it kind of busted, because it's like, let's say, okay, let me grab the ledge here. I'm going to charge Phantom, and I'm going to walk up, hold shield. The thing is that, I screwed that up, but the thing is that your opponent's choices are so much more limited, and it makes it even easier for Zelda to do something. If you have Phantom on your side, people are usually going to try to do something as it's coming out. So you'll see people get up attack. They use their invincibility of the get up attack to beat the Phantom. But if you walk up and you just hold shield, you can literally just grab them. You don't even have to parry, right? If you've got the Phantom there, there's no reason to parry, because they're going to hit the Phantom, and it's going to, you have more time to react by grabbing if they hit the Phantom, because they'll hit the Phantom and then they'll hit your shield. So let me show that real quick. A little hard to set up, but I'm gonna do my best. All right, so I'm moving forward. Yeah, I'm moving forward, and I'm gonna hold shield here, and Kirby's gonna do get up attack. I probably did it too soon. They're probably gonna get clocked by the Phantom. Yeah, but let's say I drop shield here. Anyway, so I parry, and I'm gonna buffer down tilt. Or actually, I'm gonna buffer down smash, actually. They got hit by both. Now, I'm gonna try to do this one more time. Let me see if I can get this set up correctly, because I just want to show you what I'm talking about here. I'll just put myself in position already. Okay. So I'm just going to walk forward just a little bit. While I dashed. Okay. And then as soon as Phantom goes off, I'm going to use Kirby to do their get up attack. So they're reacting to the Phantom by using their get up attack. So they're using it to get through it, right? Now I'm just going to buffer up B. So you see what I mean? Like, this is still, this is a situation, so that's why it's actually super good for Zelda. Like, when you have an option to ledge trap somebody, you usually want to mix between doing like dash up down tilt or dash up shield if you've got Phantom going. Like, you have Phantom, and you can either do like dash up down tilt, or you could do like Phantom and dash up shield. And it's like, those situations are most favorable for you as Zelda. So I know that was like a little long. Oh, no, of course. I know it's like, I know it's a lot of information, but like, you'll always be able to, you know, view this VOD and everything when you go back through it. But advantage for Zelda is all about like what we've gone over today. Zelda's advantage state is all about playing slow, and not overextending, because we can lose our advantage state easily. When we have Phantom set up, if we can afford to, we want to sit behind it and just dash back and forth, because we're waiting for our opponent to do something, and we want to watch what they do, because We're not trying to hit them with the Phantom. If they get hit by the Phantom, that's their own fault. That's because they got impatient or they succumbed to our conditioning. But we're trying to get them to react to the Phantom. And the thing is that that's why Phantom is good in advantage, is because they have to deal with it. In neutral, it's kind of bad because it's like if we're both at a neutral state and I charge the Phantom, I'm locked into that animation. So Fox can just jump and hit me, right? He can just jump, go right behind me and hit me because it doesn't take him very long. But if I dash attack them first and then I jump back, charge Phantom, they still can't act. So I've got Phantom going, and I'm telling you, even if Zelda has a little advantage and you start the Phantom, you're usually good. But I do want to end on this. The main problem that I know I had, and I know a lot of Zeldas have when they first start out, and some people never get past this, is that they opt to use Phantom a little too early. They will land a dash attack at 0 against, like, Wolf, and then they charge the Phantom. And the thing is that, like, technically, yes, that's what you want to do, but that Wolf still has enough time to, like, jump over you and hit you. That's why displacement is good, because displacement allows you to start a Phantom, but you're shooting yourself back even further, so they can't reach you in time. So that's why displacement is, like, very important to learn eventually, in my personal opinion, because it gives you a lot more breathing room to set up Phantoms, and you also have a mix-up. If you're, think about it, like, if you're only charging Phantom in one place every time you charge Phantom, it makes it very easy to know, like, where you're gonna be. But if I'm at the ledge and I charge Phantom in place multiple times, and then the next set, or sorry, the next game of the set, whenever I charge Phantom, I'm displacing Phantom, and I'm putting Phantom in the same place, but I'm jumping back, it makes it really hard to know, like, where to position them. Like, it's hard for them to know where they need to position themselves exactly, especially when they're in disadvantage, because it's like they're going to try to jump through, they're going to try to hit you, and they're going to miss, and then you get to dash attack them straight into the path of the Phantom. As a matter of fact, see here, I think I have this. Let me show you this, and then after this, we'll wrap it up. I'll show you this real fast. Oh, wait, you can still see my screen. So, I know it's in this stage right here. See right here? If I had stayed in place and charged the Phantom, I'd have gotten smacked by this, because he just does PK fire at the start. But you can see that I jumped back, and so the Phantom shield, you can see right here, blocked PK fire, and then, like, I was able to come out of this situation on top, and I got that first hit in neutral. See, used Nehru's in disadvantage here, got clocked for it. Don't skip the ledge, used Nehru's in disadvantage. I broke 2 rules right there, got punished. Now, that's just because he's kind of, you know, it's like a skill difference. But see right here, all of this was really good. So this is why, even in advantage, like, I got advantage, I jump back, charge Phantom. I had been displacing Phantom, but now I jump back, charge it. So it's just like I'm mixing up what I'm doing once the Phantom's finished. Am I in front of it? Am I behind it? It's hard for you to know. So he air dodges here. So what do? I could have jumped and tried to hit him. I could have up tilted him. I could have tried to Nehru's him into the Phantom, but what do? Dash back. So this is what I'm talking about, like, keeping yourself available. Since I dashed back, I was able to cover his air dodge with the F tilt, and that sent him right into the Phantom. That's kind of what that, in my opinion, that move is used for. You Nehru's, you set up Phantom, they're going to probably go to the ledge or they're going to air dodge. Because they're like, they don't want you to hit them with the Phantom early. Because I could have clocked him right here, right? I could have smacked him, and he was like, oh shit, I missed. I don't want to get hit by the Phantom. Now that telecancel was bad. Well, it wasn't bad. I should have done that telecancel a lot sooner, because it would have been really effective for me to, like, try to scare him and make him think I was coming off stage, but I tried to hit him with it. and he was able to air dodge it. So if I had done it slightly sooner, he would have probably still air dodged because that's what he ended up doing, and I could have wave landed out of the telecancel and still punished him. So we'll go over telecancels and displacement, you know, whenever you want to do that. But all right, I'm ledge trapping. I did dash back F smash there, and the reason is he does a lot of let go. He does a lot. You got to pay attention to what your opponent's doing at the ledge as well. Like, even though that shield kind of covers all those situations, that's why, like, right here, I just dash forward and then I immediately dash back because he did jump from ledge fair. So I could have shielded that, and then he would have been above me, and then I would have been fine. But like, what I just chose to do was also acceptable. Like, F smash is actually like a really, really good choice. Now that I should have, if I had, right here, if I had actually done what I did the last time, if I had ran off and went right back to the stage, then I'd have been fine. But you can see here that I let go and I turned it around to face him. I should have just stayed, I shouldn't have turned it around. If I had not turned it around, it would have probably all connected. So that's important to know. That was just me being greedy, and it worked, but frankly, it shouldn't have worked. If he had just held shield, he'd been fine. Right here, I did the same thing again. I sent them onto the platform with a nair. So what do we do if we send somebody onto a platform?
Run up underneath.
Correct. Because look, if I had ran underneath and shielded, what is Ness gonna do? He's scared. I can hit him from any angle because he's above me and he's on a platform. He is in disadvantage. I'm in advantage. Now, I got lucky here. I jumped and called him out, like dropping his shield, because if you remember in the first game, every time I jumped and got near him and tried to do something, he would nair me out of his shield. But I called that out this time and did Nehru's. But I only did that because I had the information to go off of, right? But I should have went under the platform and shielded here. Now see, this was good for me to do too. Once I hit him off with the Nehru's, I fall through the platform and I just sort of use Phantom to check him and just be like, you can't come here. And then like right here, I dash back. He tries to hit the Phantom and realizes he can't go through it, so he DIs back towards the corner, which is good for me. And I'm just taking my time. I'm just dashing back and forth, and then I'm setting up another Phantom. I didn't need to back off that far, and that ended up working for me. See, here's another situation. He's on a platform, go underneath it and shield. What's the worst that, how can somebody punish you for shielding? Grabs, right. But if he's above me on a platform, if I shield right here, he can't grab me. So why not like put yourself in that scenario, right? Like that's like, eliminate the RPS. Like if he's above you, he can't grab you. So might as well shield and either act out of shield or act preemptively. So I think I had the right idea here. I did up tilt, but I should have like shielded in this particular circumstance because he has been very aggressive. He's also been getting smacked a lot and he's already down a stock, so he's very pressured to try to hit me. Now this is, I'm going to tell you, my shield broke here because I honestly forgot what to do. I want to make sure you know how to get out of situations like this. So if Corrin is charging their F smash, or if Ness is like charging his up smash, if you hold shield and you hold the B button, I don't know if I told you this, but if you hold shield and you hold the B button, you can actually angle your shield, and if you move your stick, you actually won't roll. It prevents you from rolling, so it's really good to angle your shield this way, without the fear of rolling. In this scenario, when he first hit my shield, if I had been doing that, you wiggle your analog stick towards him. You constantly wiggle it, and what it does is with each successive hit, it will push him away. It's called shield DI.
Oh, shield.
Yes. So,
You can back with that?
yeah, I'll show you. Let's see. So you can't just hold shield. That's how you tilt your shield, just by holding the B button, like they're showing. I don't know what they're saying. I'm just waiting for them to show it. Yeah, so if what he's showing here is like if you're not holding the B button down or 2 shield buttons down and you like hit left or right, your character will roll. So we've established that if you're holding shield and you hold the B button, or you're holding shield and you hold your other shield button, doing both of those will prevent you from rolling while you're tilting your shield. It locks you in your shield. You cannot you cannot like spot dodge, you can't do any of those things. So that prevents you from doing that. It's really good when someone's above you. If you hold shield, you might as well put your shield towards you, like towards them, above you, because if they hit your shield, they're hitting your shield sooner, not later. A lot of characters, like if you're holding shield, they're trying to hit your shield and land at the same time, and then that makes their aerial like -5, like Fox Nair, for example, right? He lands on your shield with Nair, but if you angle your shield up and he hits your shield sooner, that means that since that's happening sooner, but he's still not landing, it gives you a little bit more time to possibly like get out of that situation or punish him, because what do characters like to do when they land on your shield with a safe aerial? They get a free RPS. Like Sephiroth can land on your shield with fast fall Nair, and if you hold shield, he can still grab you. But he can also land with fast fall Nair and jump, right? He can land with fast fall Nair and Nair again. He can land with fast fall Nair and dash away. That's what safe aerials do. Zelda doesn't have those, but this is how you defend against them. That's one thing. Anyway, let's see if he shows what I'm talking about here. So you see how he's wiggling his shield? Let's try to see where he starts talking about shield SDI. See that? See, that's a perfect example. So Ganondorf using that smash attack, if you smack back while you're holding both those buttons, you see how much farther, instead of staying in place, like it gets you away? But this is if you smack forward. So you can see during the, it's only one hit that's on your shield, but you're able to like move your character model during the hit. So when someone's constantly, yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't know this stuff. And so this type of information is what separates, you know, good players from bad players. Now, some moves aren't going to do very much for you, right? Like certain situations, it'll just be better for you to roll like they're showing. I think what they're showing here is that they're rolling before it starts, and then like if you roll too late, and you're also trying to shield the eye, if you're not holding your buttons, what's going to happen is you're going to accidentally buffer roll, and you're going to get smacked for it. Because if you try to shield the eye, but you're not holding both buttons down, that's what they're showing here. So that was them shield the eyeing away and then rolling.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So because of that, that's why like get up attack, that's why you can like at the ledge, you can stand far away, like far enough away to where like you can get the parry, because during the parry you can smack forward, and that way even if you're at max distance but you want like a closer up punish, you can smack forward during your parry and then like, you know, do down tilt or something, and it'll reach in situations that it wouldn't. So this is pretty important. So I'm trying to get them to show the multi-hits. I don't know if they're going to end up doing that. These are even situations where like someone hits your shield with something and you try to grab out a shield and it whiffs. I'm sure you've been in that situation before. So you can use this type of stuff to your advantage. See, oh, so they're actually showing it here. They're actually showing it right here. So when these characters do this, this is literally their way of checking to see if you're like allowing yourself to just stay in shield so they can just break your shield, or if they're up tilting your shield constantly if you're holding both shield buttons and smacking left or right. This is something that you can easily practice by playing against Cloud in training mode. And what you can do is you can set him to do forward smash, and you can walk up and he'll charge it, and then you can hold shield, and then like he's gonna hit your shield 3 times, and while he's doing that, you can play with your shield DI and like smack back, and see the difference between you doing that and then doing back or forward. Another thing is that it's really good to fight Cloud in training mode just so you can practice your parry timing. So just in case you need to like kind of practice like those situations, like you can do that as well. I'm pretty sure you can set them to do standard special so you can practice parrying projectiles, which I personally don't recommend unless you're up close, because you don't get anything off of parrying a projectile. Because like, I don't know if you know this, but like when if a character throws a charge shot, like let's say Samus shoots a charge shot at you, if you parry it, Samus is still completely actionable because she's not attached to the hitbox anymore. If right. You so okay, so you're aware of that. Okay. So
yeah, that projectile attack.
Right. Yeah, 100%. So that is the shield DI. Now let's take a look at like, let me just type in Corrin, and this will be the last thing that I show you for real. So I don't know if you've ever been in this scenario. You're fighting against Corrin, and she does this. And it's like you're literally trapped. There's nothing that you can do. Yeah, it's super shitty situation to be in. So how do we deal with it? So like she's basically you can't wait, you can't jump, you can't do anything. You can't even tilt your shield to cover your body, like they're saying. So what we're trying to do, it's good to like drop your shield early in this type of situation. Like it's better to take the hit early than let your shield get broken or whatever. And like characters like that, like that have a frame 1 option, they can usually get out of it. But like, let me try to, so shield DI here. Let's take a look. So they're showing what I was talking about. See that? Yeah. Now, of course, they can always like release it early, and they probably will if they see you start to do that stuff. But sometimes, they don't know, and so you can definitely get out of that situation. The other thing is, and they make a good point here, is once your shield's not being hit anymore, you need to let go of the B button or the other shield button, so that way you can roll. Because sometimes you'll get out, and then this has happened to me before, but like I'll get out and I'll be like, oh great, cool, I'm out. But then like I forget, like, oh shit, I need to let go of the B button to roll. So I'm like, why can't I roll? And then I get hit anyway. The other thing is that they can read your roll. So it's usually good to just jump and get out of that situation. Jump is very, very fast. It's frame 3. So once you're out, right, like you can also parry. So anyway, just wanted to show you that as well because it just came up. But anywho, how are we feeling about today? Do we feel like we've learned? Do we feel like we've learned a lot of different things that we can use? That's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm sorry, guys. I know that you guys were watching, and I wasn't able to get like that little last part that I was showing on stream. But regardless, as long as we've covered the goals that you've had for today, as long as you feel that you have some new things that you can implement in training mode and new things that you can implement in advantage when you're near an advantage state, then I would think that we've done a good job here so far. So I just want to make sure that you feel like you have some stuff to implement today. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just rest and recover a little.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm really glad that we had your session today. Thanks for powering through it. I hope that you start feeling better. And yeah, I wish you the best. If you have any questions, let me know. But I will be sending you a session analysis. You can check for that tomorrow, and it'll give you some homework on some specifics that I want you to practice over what we went over today specifically. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
What's the one more?
Yeah, so we actually do have one more session together, and when it's a little different for you because you ended up purchasing like a guide, and then so
Yes.
with the guide, of course, as you know, you've got 4 weekly sessions. So the last session, it says 30 minutes, but it's not 30 minutes. But the last session we're going to be going over, as you can see here, we're going to be going over Zelda's best matchups, worst matchups, and matchup specific questions and interactions. And then we go over like what stages you want to look for with her, and then what stages you don't want to play against, depending on the character that you're fighting. So like, for example, if you're fighting Cloud, you definitely never want to take Cloud to triplats. So you would always, if you can, when you're banning stages, when you play it like a tourney, or at a local, if you're fighting Cloud, you're always going to ban Battlefield and you're going to ban Yoshi's Story, because Cloud can juggle you very easily by hitting you with up air, then he lands on the platform and then he can up air you again. So you need to remove those scenarios altogether. But if you're fighting a character like Ice Climbers, or you're fighting like I would say like maybe Kirby, or even like let's see, I'm looking at the character selection screen here, like Isabelle, like or God, even Donkey Kong, like platforms aren't going to be as bad for you, because you're actually going to have a more of an advantage with your with like what the stage does for you more so than what it does for them. So that's what we're going to be going over for the most part. And then at the end, I feel like we can definitely, if you want, we can definitely get some games in and play. But the Zelda guide definitely is more so going over like what you should be doing in neutral, what you should be doing in advantage, disadvantage, and stages. And then we didn't go over any confirms today, but we definitely can. I can definitely like provide you with information on that as well. I haven't really talked to very many people about this, but I will tell the people that are on my stream, and I'll tell you because you're one of my students, that I am going to be working on a Metafy guide. So Ven and I are going to be compiling a guide together. I don't know exactly like when it's going to come out, and I don't know because we haven't started work on it yet, but it's going to be like a Zelda deconstructed guide. And so it's going to be like a guide I think that you'll have access to like as a Metafy student. I don't know if like they'll have you pay like a subscription fee or something like that. I don't know what they're doing with it, but I know it'll be a guide that will be viewable and that you will be able to go through it and see like very specific scenarios and stuff, because I'm going to be like recording everything like by hand myself. So if there's something that we don't go over in the guide, we can always go over it another time. I wouldn't charge you any additionally to just like talk about those things, because they are things I've discussed, like I say, that we're going to go over in the guide, even if we don't get it fitted in like a session. So what we could do is for our next session, we'll start with confirms, and then we'll go into like matchups and stages. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. Well, do you have any other questions or anything else that I can answer for you while we've still got you?
Not right now. Just kind of my notes here. Yeah, no, I'm feeling good.
Okay. All right, Dave. Well, as always, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm really happy to have you as a student. It's very nice when someone is so receptive to the information that I present. You know, even though I'm a coach, sometimes when we put out information, I don't know if I'm always like putting it out as best as I could, or if it's as understandable as I would hope it is, because I know I kind of have the tendency to jump around and whatnot. But I appreciate you being dedicated and being a student of the game. And if there's nothing else I can do for you today, then I hope you start feeling better. Get lots of rest, get lots of fluids, of course, maybe some soup or something. Just take it easy, and I'll see you next week. All right. All right, Dave. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
But platforms, all my Zelda mains hate platforms. Educational queen. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm so sorry about the part that wasn't on stream. But I hope that you guys, you know, are still able to benefit from it. You guys always, like, if you have any questions, you can definitely ask me. It's just that, like, sometimes when I'm showing stuff, because I don't have two monitors, I need to get another monitor, but like when I'm showing stuff on my monitor, I can't see that like the chat is saying like help, like, you know, we can't see anything. So anywho, yeah, I also want to give a quick shout out to Freshcut. Freshcut obviously sent me this awesome merch. Freshcut is a cool fucking app that you can just go to the iOS store or Android store and download. And it's like TikTok but for video games, and it's free. So they also pay you to watch clips. So that's like their little niche thing that they do, is like you get on there, you start following creators, and they have like these quests where like watch like 15 clips in a day, and it gives you like currency that you can use to like tip people, tip your favorite creators, tip me, tip other people. There's like all kinds of top players are on there now. Mewtwo King's on there. Send is on there. Nakat is on there. PK Chris is on there. The numbers just keep rising and rising, but it's free to download. They're super awesome and they support me, so definitely check them out. But other than that, the last thing I want to say is, y'all, I started a YouTube channel. And I'm giving you guys this YouTube link because if you're looking to catch my streams after they leave Twitch, the Twitch world, you can definitely come to my channel here because I upload them, and it's just so people can watch it and hopefully get something out of it. You know, I don't really make any money on, because like I think they have like these ridiculous things where it's like you have to have like 1 billion subscribers and you have to have 1 trillion views on each video and you'll get $5 or whatever. So I just have it for my students so that way they can get more bang for their buck. You know, if you sign up for a session with me, your sessions are uploaded to YouTube, and then that way you can view them and study them and whatever. But the other thing is like for you guys, if you ever just want to watch those and try to get something out of it, if you can't afford lessons, right? Like that's the thing I think I relate to the most, is never having fucking money, right? Like I'm a broke bitch always. And I think that if it was me, I would kill to have something like that. You know what I mean? So that's why I do it, because I want other people to benefit from it in case they can't afford lessons, because not everybody has extra money to just buy coaching lessons. So that is there for you guys to use as a resource. And if you guys follow me on there or subscribe or whatever, I would really appreciate it, because I think it like helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps like stuff pop up, and so that way more people can see that, like if they search like Zelda tactics or Zelda lessons or something, Zelda coaching, I'm more likely to pop up based on the number of subscribers that I have. So anywho, I have to run to the gym, and then I will actually be back at 3 o'clock. So literally a little less than an hour, with another Metafy session. I'll be doing a session with my student Stubbs, and they actually recently broke top 8 at one of their locals for the second time, and so they're very, very excited, and they've been working very, very hard, and I'm really excited to get started with them. So I'll see you guys in literally less than an hour. I'll go live again. Thanks for being here, and yeah, thanks thanks for being you. I'll see you guys around. Bye.